Okay, so here is Joy Community Acupuncture website, and this is going to be a website evaluation. So the first thing that I see when I come to this page is a pricing structure. And although I think it's good to post your pricing, I would rather see some information as to what it is that I get. So the first thing I see is $20, $40 sliding scale with $15 initial paperwork fee. So already you're asking me to give you money, and I don't know what I'm giving you money for. So I would add something more about, community acupuncture, what it is that it, why it's helpful, how it works, what it's good for, what you can expect, and then have the money and the pricing structure as part of that. Because I don't want to see, the money aspect right away, right up front, right initially. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Second thing that I see all too often with practitioners are needles going into the skin. So if I were to ask you what the number one fear that people have about acupuncture, it's getting needled. So having a picture of needles on your website on the very first page is not the best thing. It'll turn off a lot of people, and I've seen it before, I've heard it before, so I would try to avoid any needle-related images on your website, and for that matter, I would also try to avoid some images that are, that show a lot of sha, like some really serious cupping images or gua sha. I feel that could be a bit of an injustice and can harm people and keep them from taking those next steps to, call you up. So I see that you have a testimonial here, but this doesn't really look like a testimonial. I don't see quotes on here. I don't see a person's name. It looks like there's more to it than what's up over here. So I would enhance this testimonial, and if you have more testimonials, I would add them on your website. I think testimonials are probably one of the biggest ways to convert patients from prospects who are interested about your care to actually getting them to take steps to schedule with you, because they hear about different, people, having good experiences with you, and they can relate to those differently. So I would enhance your testimonials, and I would even put some quote marks on here. I would put the people's name on here and figure out why this is where it ends over here. Also, I'm not sure if this is the best thing. Find us on thumbtack.com. I don't know. To me, personally, thumbtack and acupuncture needles kind of go hand in hand. I would just get rid of this image if it's possible. Maybe they have a different image that you can work with on that. One thing that I'd like to see is I'd love to see your hours of operation and how to contact you higher up on the page. I'd love to see that information either somewhere up in here, on your banner over here, or even up in this general area on the sidebar. I think it's important for people to immediately be able to find you, know when you're open, and be able to contact you. And in that case, I would also have a map, Google Map set up over here. So make sure you have your Google Plus account set up. One thing that I do not see on here, which I feel is very important these days, I don't see any links to Facebook or your Google Plus account or even Yelp. So I would, if your website is not integrated with those right now, I would get somebody to integrate that for you. We do that as a service with AcuPerfect websites, and we even set up your social media portals as well. So if you don't have that set up, I would highly consider looking into that and having those icons of the Facebook and the Twitter and all of that on your site here, so people who are tech savvy like that can interact with you in that respect as well. So it's good that you have the Book Now button on here. I would even change the color a little bit so it pops out a little more. I know you're trying to match the different colors on the site here, but I would make the button something a little more dynamic, something that can pop out a little more than this button over here. Maybe you want to change the font. maybe want to give it like a little 3D effect. I'm not really sure, but there's something I think that needs to pop out a little more. So on your About You page, I think it's great that you have a good picture of yourself. I would get a more clearer picture of you on here. Maybe you might want to take a series of different headshots and put those up on here as well. Kind of just switch it out and just see which ones really resonate with you. But this picture is not bad, but I do think it's kind of got some shadowing going on that kind of distracts from the picture overall. One thing that I don't see in your text over here is your personal story. So I really think that this is a big place where practitioners miss the mark on communicating to their patients. And I think it's important to have your story as to what motivated you to become an acupuncturist. A lot of practitioners have some really, really good stories on what moved them from the job that they were doing previously to becoming a practitioner now. Did you have your own personal challenges that acupuncture helped you for? Did you have a family member that you saw go through acupuncture and helped them tremendously? I think it's important to really get down the story of you and how you became the practitioner that you are today and why you are doing what you're doing in order to help your community. So I think elaborating a little bit here and adding a bit more of a story about you would be really important. So about the new patients page over here, I think that it's pretty good. I would add a few more testimonials, definitely. Again, it looks like your testimonials are getting cut off. I don't know where they're pulling from, but they're getting cut off over here. That does not look very professional at all. I would add some testimonials throughout this page, maybe like have a section of a testimonial, maybe a patient picture, and then more text, and another testimonial, and so on. I think this is important. I would even pull this out. Please help us spread the word, and maybe even put that on the side of your page somehow as a call to action button that takes them to a page that talks about your commitment to helping your community and why you have low prices, and give them ways that they can spread the word about your clinic. So when we click on the new patient forms, I see that if I was just to click on this headline over here, it'll take me to this page. I'd like to see this section here moved underneath here. Maybe you could have something that says health history form, consent form, privacy notice, financial policy, all over here. I would even, since they need to download all of these, I would bundle them and put them in one zip file and have them downloaded here, because if somebody comes to your site, they might not know that they need to download all of these. So I would bundle these, put them in a zip file, and stick them underneath here. Your FAQ page, good. I think it's important to have an FAQ page. I would also keep adding to this page. I'm sure you get many questions from patients all the time about your care or what you could help with or whatever the questions are. And that's important information that you could be sharing with other people here. So you can constantly be adding to your FAQ page, and I would suggest that you keep building on that. Okay, on your blog page, so it looks like your last blogs were updated March 2015, about a year ago roughly. I would either kill the dates on these or start getting a little more current on your blogging. I think blogging is so underrated, and these days there's no lack of information that you could be connecting to or writing about or referencing a study that you could be updating on your site. I feel that if you were to spend even a half hour a week or an hour a week, you could easily come up with some content that you could be sharing on your website and then posting on your social media sites and then linking back here. Then you could even be using that content as email content sending to your patients. Contact info, I think that's great. I assume this is probably the back of the building. I would honestly get rid of this picture. I know you're trying to show them that they can park in the back, but I think just kind of having that highlighted here is good. This almost looks like two different locations to me, so that would be confusing as well. So I would blow up this picture here, your main picture, and get rid of this picture over here, And great that you have the map over here. I think that's excellent. This, I think, is sort of out of place over here. Again, your testimonials are being cut off. I'd fix that. And let's go ahead back to your homepage. One of the biggest things that jumps out to me is I don't see any way that you can capture any leads. So whenever there's any cold traffic that's coming to your website, there's no way for you to capture information from them except on your contact form, which is buried up over in here. You need some type of an intake form, some type of a place where people can give you their email address and their name in exchange for like a free report or something like that. I think that's often missed with practitioners' websites, and I would definitely include something like that. If you start blogging, make sure that your blog page shows up on your front page over here, because that will help with your SEO rankings, because this front page will always be indexing and get you higher up on the rankings there, especially as you do more blogging. So that's pretty much it, Joy. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, any information, or any insights, please comment below the video here, and I will be sure to respond back to you. All right, thank you.